What you talking about, Willis? Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Tech Talk.
Number what?
Nah, I
didn't
put the number. Dude, I don't. It's number like 3 on my channel. I don't know. I can fix it after the fact. It's fine. So, Mr. Jay here is on vacation.
And I'm here of all places.
From the land of which you have. Well, you found out once you came up here to Seattle that there's really not much to do. So you might as well just come over here and hang out.
There's plenty to do.
Well, here, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you've done so far since you've been here?
Well, I'm afraid of heights, but I still went up the Space Needle.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of cool. We went on a duck tour, one of the duck boat tours. You know, I've been to a lot of major cities, and those tours exist in like every major city, but I never go on them because I just like, this is kind of cheesy. What the heck? But you learn a lot about the city, so now we kind of want to go on all the duck tours in all the cities.
That would be a pretty lame tour though if it was like in a Midwest, like down with no water.
We're gonna go on this Kansas City, Oklahoma tour.
We're gonna go for a ride on the duck.
Shout out to all the Kansas City, Oklahoma folk.
To all the Oklahoma folk.
Let's see. We also did we went in the EMP for a little bit. We didn't do like the full tour in there yet, like check out all the different exhibits.
Yep.
But we are gonna go back to do that. Let's see. What else did we do today? We learned there are 450 Starbucks within the city limits of Seattle. 450 of them, and only
that actually seems low.
And only one of them is a drive-through.
What?
We learned that in the tour too. There's
only Seattle?
Yeah, there's only one drive-through, and it's in the Fremont district over there. What he called the hippie zone.
Yeah, Fremont's the hippie zone for sure.
Yeah, and then it was kind of neat. We got to go in the lake. What's that lake? What's the lake called?
Lake Washington?
Lake Washington?
Yeah.
That's where the duck boat goes into it, like towards the end. Once you get near Pike's Place, man, it's crowded. What are you tapping at?
I'm getting the links out there to everybody because we started like a half an hour before the countdown.
So this is technically the pre-show.
Yeah, this is the pre-show, guys.
But yeah, once you get near Pike's Place, which we're going to visit probably tomorrow or the next day, that is crowded, like people crowded.
I've never seen this before. Somebody in chat actually said the audio and the video is good.
Wow.
Like I'm not.
Normally they're just bitching like it's granulated.
I'm not used to that. She's like, there's artifacts, and Jay's mic's making the click click and the hiss noise.
Oh yeah, I touched that mic and everyone dies.
Yeah, don't touch this one because being a shotgun, if you touch that, you will probably deafen everybody in the channel. Just if you get mad, just reach over there and just flick that sumbitch. Take them all out. So, what is this really the pre-show, or are we just gonna jump right into it?
If you took that front part off, this is the 3D printed rubber band shooter he made.
Yeah, I actually did a video on this, guys.
You take that front half off, it actually looks like a little Glock.
It does actually. Looks like a little short-nosed Glock with like a really confused hammer.
That's one of them automatic Glocks.
It's an automatic Glock. It just wind up and goes a PP.
What is that? Glock 19? That's the auto.
The Glock G18C.
Oh, the Glock 18C. So it's like a mini Glock 18.
Yeah, I actually have the airsoft version of the Glock 18C. And that thing fires 24 BBs in, I think it's 2.4 seconds.
Wow.
It literally just goes...
That's a lot for
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
Is this a 3D printed cup?
That is a 3D printed cup. I printed that on my SLA printer. It's about $150 in resin. It probably would be.
It's an amazing cup.
So Jay decided to have a vacation to Seattle, which is kind of beyond my comprehension. Like why anybody would choose Seattle as a destination.
The wife has always been enamored with Boston and Seattle. Those are the two cities that she's always been like, I want to visit.
Why? Okay, Boston I can kind of understand, right? Because I guess there's some like there's some heritage and stuff going on there. But like Seattle, we got Starbucks.
She really likes Grey's Anatomy. I mean, it could be that. I don't know.
She wants to see
She's really into Grey's Anatomy, I guess.
So guys, just to give you the heads up, I didn't fill out the video description very much. I just said let's welcome Jay back to the Nerd Cave.
Yes, we were forced down the 520.
Yes. Yeah, so Jay got stuck in traffic. That's ultimately why we're late. And it's funny because I gave him so much crap about LA having really bad traffic, and then he comes up here and basically the same experience.
So the duck tour guide said that Seattle had the 6th worst traffic in the nation amongst major cities.
6th worst.
6th worst. And then he said the government got involved and they came up with some road projects, and now it's the 4th worst.
I believe it.
Which is funny is, in the city limits, like downtown area, I felt it was like nothing compared to LA. So I kind of want to know where LA ranks now.
I think LA's number 1, isn't it?
I thought New York was number 1.
I thought New York was number 2, actually.
It might be LA.
Because I've been to New York twice. I've been to LA about 3 times.
You've seen getting around to LA kind of sucks, but it was pretty bad.
You know what the problem with New York is, though? Is the traffic is really crazy in small time windows. Like LA seems like traffic's pretty much always bad. Mm-hmm. Whereas in New York, it's like if it's a night, you can get around pretty easy. Like between Manhattan and Queens.
As an example, when we left to catch our flight yesterday, we left at 4 in the morning. And even at 4 a.m, it was like the freeway was full.
Dude, screw LA, man. Just sell everything and move up here.
Well, the problem is the greater LA area has 18 million residents.
Jeez. You could buy my house right here for like the cost of your garage of your current house.
I don't know. Where you live's kind of expensive.
You could buy this house. This house right now is on the market for, I think it's 320, 340.
Okay, yeah, it's a lot cheaper.
Yeah, no, I'm saying like.
But it's
LA.
also like half the size of my house, too.
It is true. It's only my house is tiny, guys. Like I know this room looks cool, the nerd cave and everything, but my house is only 1,600 square feet.
This is like 1/3 of his whole house, right there.
Yeah, pretty much. And it has a one car garage. So everybody's like, "Why don't you do a whole house tour?" It's because I don't want to look like poor people.
You've already done most of one right here.
Yeah, you guys have seen most of the house. I mean, if I showed you the bathroom, you'd see 2/3 of it.
Is there really only 173 people watching?
That can't be right. Hold on. Did nobody get the memo?
This is why we host it on my channel.
No, we're up to 883 now. This is why we host it on JayzTwoCents. Everybody's probably sitting on your channel hitting refresh. Where's TikTok?
I tried tweeting, but most of my followers don't follow on Twitter. So.
Well, I tweeted out twice now, and I said we're live now, but I told everybody 6 p.m. So I bet you a bunch of people went to like eat dinner and stuff, and they're going to come back and be like, "Yeah, we're finally going to catch it at the beginning." And it's like we're already like a half an hour into it. Like,
what's funny is when I was texting you earlier saying we're running late because the duck tour ran late because I got stuck in traffic, and so. The wife was like, I told her what you said, like, the show starts when the show starts. And she's like, yeah, that's the right attitude. I said, the problem is, we look like complete dickholes when we tweet a time and people plan their evening like, okay, we got to do this, we got to be back because we got to do this. Maybe someone changed their plans because they want to catch a show for once.
Yep.
And then we're like, we'll go live later, whenever we want. And then they're sitting around going, what the heck? I rearranged my plans for this.
I always feel the worst when I have to cancel like an hour or two before where I'm like sick or something like that happens. It's like you got to cancel. It's like everybody already got like revved up for the show.
Yeah.
I mean, but I don't want to sound like an egomaniac. Like, oh man, people want to watch our show. But it's true. You do. You came to the show because you wanted to watch it.
Oh, I see people commenting on your shirt like you're an NVIDIA fanboy. This is actually a PDX shirt.
Yeah, I'm not an NVIDIA fanboy. I'm actually wearing this ironically. I'm an AMD fanboy.
NVIDIA just happened to be one of the sponsors for the last PDX you went to, and that's why actually that was November
I kind of want to punch NVIDIA in the balls after my experience today. You know what I've been doing for the last 4 hours?
Dealing with driver setup.
Trying to get these fucking 3 screens to transition between 4K surround and 4K not surround with SLI. Every time you transition back, it turns this monitor on, the other 2 off, and I have to go re-enable those 2 monitors. Why can't it remember the monitor configuration?
What's happening right now, too, with NVIDIA is they've constantly... And guys, we're not rolling an intro because he doesn't have it. So that's why we don't have an intro.
No, we got an intro.
You do have an intro?
Yeah, check it out. We just got to improvise. Pull it. Here, you want to do it? Here,
not really.
Okay, there we go.
All right, so I did it. Did I do it right?
You did a good job.
That's how he really does it, and he just speeds it up 1,000%.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that. This is literally here. I'll do it for real, guys. Are you ready?
That's actually what happens when he's off his Percocet.
And Adderall.
Oh, yeah. You
need your uppers and your downers.
But no, NVIDIA, I know it's not on here, but we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Because you seem to have a very Tesla heavy... And by the way, we learned... we learned at the...
I'm just going to sit here like this whole show.
Apparently, you Washington folk love Tesla... Because the mall has a Tesla dealership in the mall. What's up with that?
Oh, you talking about the Bellevue one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm walking around like, oh yeah, I always go to the mall to buy my Tesla.
I know. And the funny thing is, they have like 2 Teslas. Like they have one full one, and then they have like a torn apart one. Right. And it's like you walk in there, you're like, okay, if I buy a Tesla, where do I get it?
Oh,
they deliver it to you. Yeah. And if you want to test drive one, they're just down in the parking garage, like plugged in. So you have to like walk all the way out of the mall, around into the parking garage to basically go on a test drive.
Yeah, it was weird.
It's bizarre.
Okay, so NVIDIA is constantly kind of changing its stance regarding the 3-way and 4-way thing.
Yeah, I saw that today. Somebody linked me and said now they're just going to enable it for specific benchmarks.
Right, which is kind of really the only place it really mattered. But the thing is, I don't know how much I really care, to be honest with you. I've honestly been considering, even with the 3 Titan X's I have, ditching one card because the heat is so much heat. But yeah, so at this point, NVIDIA has all but just kind of ditched the enthusiast crowd of 3-way and 4-way SLI.
You know what I kind of thought was bullshit, though?
If AMD really wants to step in somewhere...
They should enable, like, 8-way SLI and just take that market away.
And if the bigger Polaris GPUs, like, not the RX 480, right? Obviously, that's a budget GPU. But if their big Polaris really does hang with, say, the 1080, then, like, optimize that 3- and 4-way Crossfire. Like, let Crossfire... seriously be something that can step in and take over that enthusiast market.
Yeah. You know what kind of pisses me off, though, is that NVIDIA says they're going to leave it enabled for benchmarks because they want to make sure that they still keep those really high top scores for overclockers and stuff.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if you're disabling the card for gaming and all that other stuff, then it's kind of a false metric anyway, because the whole point of the benchmark is to prove what the gaming performance could potentially be.
Can I address the SLI issue in Doom right now?
Yeah.
So Doom runs OpenGL. We're still waiting on the Vulkan API update, which they've promised.
Oh, by the way, it's all broken field of view on Multimon. I played it on Multimon, and I was like, it's completely fucked up. Like, everything's stretched out.
it's not, because it's on OpenGL.
Yeah.
Okay? And so Bethesda promised that there would be a Vulkan update, because everyone's like, okay, Vulkan's kind of gaining traction. Can you open a chat one over here that I can see? Because that's really far away, and they're 4K, so it's really small.
You know what? I'm just going to bring this son bitch right over
Whoa.
there.
Okay. All right, so here's you guys can't donate, guys. It's Jerry's channel. We've been talking.
You can't donate, bro. Donations have been broke on my channel. If you really feel like donating, you can go to any of my other videos, and there's a link in the video description to donate directly to me.
Yeah.
But Jay will get totally gypped. But I bought him dinner last night, so it's fine. So
that's worth it. It was a nice dinner.
It was a nice dinner.
Dessert, and we had, and the thing was like you order dinner and they give you an entree to take home. Like that was weird because we got the dinner for two. But
yeah,
really,
that was an option they gave me too, and I was like, I don't like if I take home leftovers, I take home leftovers. I don't want to like go into this knowing I'm taking home leftovers. It was kind of bizarre, but good place.
Plus, we're in a hotel, so it's not like I can properly reheat it in an oven, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, so what was I talking about? Oh, Doom. That's right.
Yes.
So I put out a tweet the other day, and I said, does anyone else notice that with the latest drivers and Doom and SLI enabled in Doom that its frame rate went to shit? Mm-hmm. And not constant shit, and not micro stuttering either. Like just huge drops in performance around. You would get near the glass, right? You know how some of the glass you can see out into Mars, and that glass is real like dirty and crusty.
Yeah. That
glass, whenever I got near it, just freaked out, and my FPS would go down to like 10 with 3 Titan X's. Okay. And I'm going, what the heck? So I looked into what exactly they did for SLI enabling. Mm-hmm. They didn't actually change a line of code at all for the SLI. What they did was they changed the driver so that on the Doom specific settings in the driver, all they did was go from single card mode and put it on alternate frame rendering mode in SLI, which is not like a very good SLI implementation whatsoever, where you just make one card alternate, which does the entire frame. Yeah. Where SLI usually works in a much better coded fashion where each card can take a portion of the screen. Yep. So it literally only used 2 of my 3 cards and the frame rate went to crap. So I noticed that in the driver, so I went, okay, what if I just make this now like 3 GPU alternate frame rate? Yeah. Then I didn't know what to do. Like the GPUs went up to about 80% usage, but my FPS dropped even more. It was bad. So until Vulkan API is out where it can really utilize multiple cards, I went back to single GPU, because single GPU mode on my Acer X34, I could lock it at 100 FPS. It would sit at 100, stayed at 100, even in the fights, on 3440 by 1440, ultra wide. Okay. And had no problems running it. But 3 Titan X's with their SLI enabled couldn't even keep 60 on a Predator.
Somebody said I need to mute Facebook sound here. I'll just close Facebook and Twitter. There we go. Because we got the audio down over here, so we can't hear. Everybody's probably like checking their Facebook. Like, oh, I got a message! I
know.
Sorry, guys.
Everyone keeps saying dab. Guys, I'm not going to dab.
You better dab, dude.
Little Jay's Taekwondo instructor was cracking up the other day because there was a kid there that finally nailed like this tornado kick that he's been working on forever, and the instructor was like, good! He dabbed away. He did the dab and started dabbing away back to the back of the line, and he was like, really? Because dab is just like taking over suddenly, I guess. The kid was like 7.
Oh, well, he gets a pass. If you're 7, you can pretty much do it. You can take your pants off and run naked through the mall and get away with it. Not even get arrested or nothing.
Don't let little Jay hear that. She might try it.
Oh my god, that's like Xander. You should see Xander some days. Oh my god, comes in the house and it's like he runs back to his room and you're like, oh, where'd Xander go? And then like 30 seconds later he comes running out. He's just in his whitey tighties, just booking around. He's like, yeah, man, I'm gonna live this up while I'm 6 years old. Yeah, and he should. So here, let me pull up our doc over here. We'll talk about some fun stuff. So, you guys may
look at all those pixels.
What? I know, dude, you gotta admit the pixel density makes sense at this size at 4K.
The pixels are huge. There's a screen door effect on these monitors.
I will stab you in the face, you fucking liar.
I'm like 1 foot from the screen right here, and I'm not seeing any pixels.
No, a lot of people, this is the thing. I always wondered, like, 4K is bullshit on small screens. Oh, yeah. I got 4K on my laptop. screen. It's 15 inches, and I have to put it on 1080 or do 200% DPI scaling. Otherwise, it's worthless.
My SC17 laptop from EVGA, it's a 4K screen.
Yep.
17 inch. I put it to 1080. 4K was just terrible.
Yeah, and I even told Puget Systems, and they're like, yeah, it's more of just it was an upgrade to future-proof the laptop for like when DPI scaling and stuff works properly. But yeah, 1080p is about all you can run it. But then when you get up to 50-inch screen, it's like having 4 24-inch screens at 1080p, which makes sense.
But it's still small. Like, look at the size of those icons. And I bet you that DPI scaled a little bit too, didn't it?
No, there's no DPI scaling.
That's true 4K?
That's true 4K.
Gotcha.
But that's like about the size you'd expect the icons to be like on a 22 or 24-inch panel.
Yeah, that's true.
So you have tons of real estate. When you're editing videos and stuff, it's absolutely awesome. So, and I will explain that in my video if it ever comes out. I worked on a video all day today, but then I got stuck on a driver issue and literally went like 3 hours without shooting.
Which driver are you on right now?
The latest one. I just installed today. The one that came out yesterday.
It came out a couple days ago.
Was it a couple days ago?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, everybody on Twitter was like, don't install it. But I was having so many problems already. Because what I decided is I have an auxiliary screen, guys. You've probably seen it in my videos. It's up above. It's an LG ultra-wide 2K screen.
Yeah.
I found out a lot of my problems I've been having with my graphics have been because it just doesn't know how to handle this oddball resolution hanging out here in space.
You probably don't even need that anymore, though.
No, I don't. So what I'm going to do is I'm still going to leave it here, but I'm going to connect it to my second computer with the capture card and run the HDMI through the capture card. And then I can do all the XSplit stuff through this, and then I'll use a program where I can move the mouse and keyboard I/O between them.
That's what I would do, yeah.
Yeah, so that's my goal. I'm still keeping the screen up above, but I'm not gonna keep it on the computer, guys. It doesn't make sense anymore. So here, you want to talk about the Tesla? This is pretty funny. So you guys know I made a video. Well, actually, a lot of you don't know because I was forced to take it down.
I still never got to watch it.
So
I should watch it while I'm here.
I'll let you watch it.
Well, yeah, because you still have that that source file.
I do. It's still actually up on YouTube. It's just in private mode. So, anyways, what had happened was I test drove one of the Tesla mule cars. Basically, they had upgrades on it that weren't publicly known. And we drove around and we didn't say anything.
Did he get in trouble for that?
No, not really. I mean, we didn't violate NDA technically, but they may have revised some things after that one.
Gotcha.
But they were pretty nice about it. They just asked us to take the video down because it was pretty obvious from like certain things we said in the video and certain things we did that the car had capabilities that the other cars didn't. And they didn't want that known. So anyways, I had to pull the video after it got like 100,000 views in under 24 hours. I was like, woo! But they were like, take it down. So I took it down. Same week, I had to take the Bitcoin video down too because like the third investor of this Bitcoin mine was like having a tizzy fit about it. But anyways, the whole reason was because of this whole Tesla P100D shenanigans, basically. They didn't want the public knowing about it. But now it's public knowledge because it was released by a hacker that goes by the name WK057. He's actually, he went through the latest firmware on, I think it was a P85. He has a P85D Ludicrous Edition car. And there's a whole thread, and I'll link it down in the video description after we're done, guys, so you can go look at it. But basically, he rooted his car and went and looked through the firmware and grepped it and found multiple references to P100D, and he even found an image file. So he found the image file that was the badge for the P100D.
Okay.
So Tesla doesn't want it in public, doesn't want anybody to know. So anyway,
but it was visibly in the code.
It was visibly in the code. He was able in the firmware to find not only the name of the image, but to extract that image file, and it was the actual badge.
That's how a lot of people get early GPU info too, because they start seeing code ending up in the drivers for upcoming models because they're mentioned by name rather than some sort of code name.
But the whole thing is Tesla doesn't think their cars can be rooted, and this guy rooted the car, which means he had access to every single thing.
Well, it's just running Android.
Yeah, so he goes.
That's a joke, by the way, guys.
So the guy goes out and tweets out basically, and he encrypts it. He encrypts the message using SHA-256 encryption algorithm. And he sends it out and he says, hey, Elon, I know your secret. That was his tweet.
Yeah.
And so a bunch of people went and actually cracked the hash, and the hash resolved to P100D, which was the name of the thing. And then after that, he was like, okay, the jig's up. You guys figured it out. And he posted the image from the firmware that was the P100D. And
is the P100D just going to be another Model S upgrade, like another Model S version?
They don't know that we don't know all the details about it yet. He didn't really. He had more information, but he didn't make it public.
Gotcha.
And but P100D implies that it's a 100 kilowatt battery pack. So that's what they didn't want people knowing. Obviously, they didn't want to know that they're making a car with a 100 kilowatt battery pack because that leads to more power, that leads to more range. Those are all those things, right? So he leaks this, and after he leaks it, like within a day or two, a bunch of people pick it up in news outlets and everything like that. Well, he goes out to his car the next day, and the firmware's been dropped back 2 versions. So he's rooted the car. So he goes.
So he lost a bunch of horsepower because he lost the ludicrous download, right?
They didn't really make it clear in the article if he lost the ludicrous download, but he did lose all the patches that fixed whatever problem. One of them was a charging bug. Like they reintroduced
so it's almost like here,
bug.
have a bunch of problems back with your car.
Exactly. Yeah. They were like screw you. You looked at the firmware.
Some folks are saying the mic's peaking. It does look like we're hitting 100.
Oh, we are.
We're hitting 0.
I can back it off a little, guys. Hold on. How's that? Is that better?
I'd go negative 4.
Negative 4?
Yeah.
All right, so we'll give that a try. Sorry, guys. I get really loud when I'm excited. As Jay would tell you.
I'm like his Coconut Monkey, where he's really loud and I'm too quiet. Like when I record with Coconut Monkey, I'm like, speak up.
I know, right? So anyways, this guy, he goes into the firmware, he figures this out. Tesla knows about it now at this point. And so Tesla basically connects to his car and rolls his firmware back. So he goes and asks a ton of people to figure out if, maybe everybody got rolled back. Maybe there was a bug or something like that. He was the only one that got rolled back, and it coincided perfectly with him posting this. So he went in, and there's a whole thread on this where he goes back in, roots the car, disables the Ethernet port, basically the Ethernet interface that's allowing them to connect over 3G to the car to update it. He shuts them out.
So they have no more control over the car.
No more control over the car. He basically kills the interface, so now there's no way for them to connect to the car remotely to do anything. And then he reloads the firmware because he backed it up. When he rooted the box, or when he rooted the car, he backed up the firmware.
Right.
So he put the old firmware back that had all the P100D stuff in it. He put that back on the car, and then he disabled the Ethernet port, and he's basically like, your move, Tesla. And so he sent a message directly to Tesla. It was like, oh, so I see it. So you guys are retaliating? Or something like that, and Elon responded back publicly and said, this order didn't come from me, we actually like hackers. He basically said that hackers are a gift to the community. So Elon shook it off as it wasn't his order. But it's pretty clear reading through the thread that something triggered this 2-stage downgrade on his car. And it was kind of weird that it happened right after he had leaked some information publicly that he shouldn't have. But at any rate, he talked to Tesla, and he decided to keep a lot of the information he found secret. He found a lot more stuff in the firmware. He said he could confirm a lot more details from digging into the firmware, but he wouldn't go into it. And he said that he's no longer... He was planning on making a bunch of bugs public that he found in the firmware, like to remotely hack the car and stuff like that. But he said he decided against it because he thought that there were some ethical problems with potentially putting an exploit out there that you could use to harm somebody else. Because a lot of these exploits, right, you can shut the car down while it's driving down the freeway and stuff like that. So, but at any rate, it was just kind of an interesting read because it shows that, hackers will get in anywhere, right? The guy bought his car, he rooted his car. Within the Digital Millennium Act or whatever, he's allowed to modify the software. Like, I think they ruled in favor that if you own something, you can root it, you can hack it, it's yours. And so and then he argued that because they would no longer give him the latest firmware, they were preventing him from getting critical fixes, basically like recall class bugs, like your brakes stop working.
Right.
So his arguments in this thread are actually like really compelling.
Are electronic brakes on that car.
Everything on that thing is electronic. Like I don't even think the steering column's connected to the front wheels. I don't know. You'd have to go and check that. But
everything's drive by wire.
Everything. That thing's like freaking F16 with wheels on it.
Yeah.
But it's pretty crazy. I mean, Tesla's in the news a lot these days because they got the Model X out. They got the Model 3 coming, which is going to be like the first 300-mile range electric car that's going to be like affordable. Mm-hmm. I mean, the thing is going to cost like as much as a Chevy Volt does now, which is like the world's trashiest piece of garbage car ever. Do not buy a Chevy Volt.
Right.
That thing is just horrible, horrible garbage. So what do you think about the whole hacking car things, man? Is that something that worries you?
That's something we talked about a long time ago, like 2 years ago.
But now it's like becoming a reality.
Right, like, that was always my concern regarding smart cars. Not just electric cars, but smart cars. Where, I mean, come on, there's nothing safe on the internet anymore. And when the car itself is on the internet, or emitting and receiving constantly just any information, whether it be 3G or what, it's vulnerable. So I guess that's always been one of my concerns.
Yeah, the fact that they're able to actually update the firmware on the car pretty much says that they have full unrestricted access over that line. So they could do anything. They could potentially just wipe everything off that car, and it would just basically be a big piece of hardware, no operating system.
And I know this kind of segues into your next topic here, but I saw something on the news the other day, too, that you have on here, right, Tesla Model X crashes in the building. That's the next. I also saw back in L.A., a Model S with the self-driving feature crashed in traffic. Somebody was using it and fell asleep.
Yeah, and I think the argument that Tesla's making is when you enable the feature, it specifically tells you that you still need to be alert. Right. You still need to be on your game for braking.
But how long now before Department of Transportation in each state gets involved and says, it is illegal to use this feature? That
would be kind of weird. It seems like that would be a good logical step, though, if this keeps happening.
Yeah.
Because now this is becoming dangerous for all the other drivers.
It's one thing to
car.
have a driving aid or have a car step in and try and keep you from rear-ending somebody because you were distracted, right? That's one thing to have auto brakes kicking and stuff like that, but to have a hands-off feature, I think there's going to be a law that states your hands have to be on the wheel.
Yeah, there's been people that have videotaped people sleeping.
Yeah, that's been something you've seen a lot of.
That's pulling into an intersection. It's and I don't know if any of those are honestly real. Even when I went out and shot my video, we pretended we were sleeping, we were next to somebody just as a gag, right? But then we woke up and we were like, oh, look. And then one of them was hanging the hands out the windows like this, accelerating down the freeway. I mean, it's funny to do, but the thing is, I could totally see somebody doing that.
Yeah.
If they got used to using that feature every day. And let's be honest, if you're tired and you go and drive a car, the only thing keeping you awake is that constant focus that's I don't want to drive off into the woods. If you were really tired and you're starting to fade off and you're the car's driving itself.
Just for a second.
Yeah, just for a second. I'm just going, it's okay. It knows where the line's
And then you're suddenly woken off by the airbag in your face.
Exactly.
Because you hit a guardrail or something.
And the thing is, the Tesla is an incredibly safe car. The crash safety rating on the Model S is the thing can get hit by
It just really
semis.
sucks for the shit you hit with a big ass battery propelled car.
A 5,000 pound missile, basically.
Battering ram.
Yeah, so if you're inside the Tesla with autopilot, chances are you're going to survive. But if you're
it's kind of like the debate. Remember the debate back in the late 90s and early 2000s as SUVs kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger? It was, what about the other cars? Because the bumpers were too high and stuff, so they were... if a Yukon, a 2001 Yukon was to hit, say, a Honda Civic, the bumpers don't meet up. So the bumper ends, or the bumper of the Yukon ends up
some of those
ramming.
trucks take the roof right off the other car.
It's head height. Remember? Yeah. So they had to make the bumpers lower on these vehicles, which is why they look so tall.
No,
now.
I remember that rule. They said if you raised up a vehicle, you could only raise it up so far, but the headlights had to be a certain distance from the ground.
Which is why Chevy inverted the lights.
Don't you guys have asshole cops down in California that actually get out the yardstick and check that shit?
I've driven lowered vehicles since I could drive, and I've never had one screw with me. But I think it also depends on the reason why they pull you over too. So, if you're a punk kid out there disrespectful, he's going to pull out that yardstick.
That's true, because I've heard of that actually being a big deal, not in Seattle. Where is it?
The way the rule is with the CHP in California, though, is it's not how high the vehicle is off the ground. It actually has to do with where the vehicle body is in relation to the wheel. So it has to be the car has to be a certain amount of inches above the certain bottom of the wheel height.
Oh, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it was really the wheel was involved in the measuring, not just the body off the car, off the ground.
Okay, so they're basically going after all the stanced guys that are just laying with the tire has this much gap.
Yeah.
You couldn't get a pubic hair in there. I don't like stancing. I probably just offended a whole bunch of people in the comments that are car guys that love stancing. But I don't understand
There's a meme going
stancing
around that shows all these different kinds of cars, like muscle cars, right? It shows off-road trucks, and it shows, track cars. And it's as car enthusiasts, we should all embrace the taste. Yeah. And then it shows stance. It's except this shit. This shit's just stupid. Yeah. So,
dude, I was literally sitting in a parking lot when a guy pulled in a Miata that was just slammed to the ground. It had the rounded edge tires that are all out at -5 degrees of camber. It looked like a spaceship rolling through the thing. He drove over the speed bump, and I actually saw the car go, and then the front end dropped. And he got stuck. He had to give it gas and drag the bottom of the car over it. And I was it was a mild speed bump.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah. So stancing ruins people's lives. Okay.
Stancing gives you cancer. You heard it here.
And if you wreck into anybody, if you wrecked into a golf cart with a stanced car, it's gonna take your roof off. You're gonna die.
Yeah.
So don't say if you know somebody. Friends don't let friends stance their cars. look at all the fuck yous. Fuck you. There's a guy and there was Alexander Tripp. Alexander Tripp's all angry because he just looked out his window at his Miata that's laying on the ground on 13-inch Dayton sideways.
Okay, so I guess this kind of brings us into car talk a little bit here.
Why not?
So I live in an area where stancing is the capital. LA kind of tends to be
low rider.
Okay, so LA kind of tends to be where a lot of this car culture sort of starts and goes out of, it kind of emulates out of. I'm sure there's a lot of cities that would disagree with that, but let's face it, LA is where a lot of this stuff really kind of catches on. So there's two different types of stance, right? There's static and then there's airbags. Yeah. So if you've set up a car static like that, I could see where that's just really, really stupid. Yeah. And I agree with that. But I can also understand the car show guys that are on bags
Oh,
where
if
they
you're on
can
bags,
drop
yeah.
it and tuck it, right? But
Yeah.
then they can raise the car up to a drivable height, then off they go. I understand that,
Yeah.
and that I'm okay with.
Yeah,
but
I
the
am
guys
too.
that are out there with control arms and getting stupid camber
Yeah.
arms that are designed to push the wheel out, that I am like,
Yeah.
that is not okay as far as I'm
And
concerned.
the only other time that I think stancing is okay is on a drift car, because it makes sense to break traction on the rear wheels. So you want to have
But
just
most drift
ridiculous.
cars are not stanced like that.
No,
at
no,
all.
they're not, but they do have ridiculous camber in the back because they don't want any traction in that rear end. The whole idea of drifting is you want that rear end to be as loose as humanly possible, right?
Off-road stancing.
Off-road stancing. That'd be funny. You just go racing off-road, and it's like the front bumper just digs up 2 feet of dirt, and the car just stops. They have to back up and find another path and do it again. It'd be like sled pulling.
Well, imagine a big lifted truck with a solid rear axle that's somehow like articulated out at the end.
Yeah, somebody's like L.A. and New York City. That's actually true. When I was in New York, I saw a lot of lowered Hondas.
Yeah.
It's one thing I noticed in New York is there are.
I would not want to go driving
down
down a New York street in a car like that.
No, Manhattan was crazy. The
it's
streets
like
in Manhattan are like just a bunch of tectonic plates that are out of alignment. It's
or big steel plates that are 3 inches thick covering all the potholes that they just won't fill.
So it was like grabbing your dick every 5 seconds. Jesus.
Who, you?
Probably. I don't know. I like to grab my dick. I have one. Do you have one?
I used to, then I got married.
Oh, I got married too. Shit, I forgot.
I get to be shown it every now and then to know it's still there, I guess.
I like my dick.
That's the quote of the week.
The
Jerry.
quote.
I like my dick.
Hashtag I like my
Barnacules.
dick. I don't want to change it. I like it. I run what you brung, right?
Mm.
So we were talking about the NVIDIA stuff a little bit earlier, as far as what I got going on here. And I was going to ask if after Tech Talk you wouldn't mind helping me squeeze a little bit more juice out of my 980s.
Oh, you want me to overclock your
Yeah, I want
your
you to-
super silent, it's not there system?
Well, you know, when I have
Sorry,
headphones
John.
on. Yeah, sorry, John. We're going to make your computer really loud all of a sudden. No, I kind of want to see just what kind of a performance difference I get, because I've never overclocked the 980 Ti's.
You could expect about 15% increase.
That's
in,
pretty
in
decent.
FPS.
On air?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the cooler on the graphics cards these days doesn't tend to hold back the max overclocks that much. What tends to happen here is you gain a little bit of additional power limit because the fans aren't eating into that total power envelope. What a lot of folks don't understand is the fans themselves is included on the TDP max of a card, and the power limit you set that slider to says, okay, so 100 is max power, right?
Yeah.
The 1080 has a 180 watt power limit, I believe it is, 180 or 190 watt power limit. So that says the entire card is not allowed to draw more than 190 watts. Now that includes LEDs, fans, and the core, the memory, and power loss to the VRMs.
Okay.
So if you turn your fan up to 100% and that eats up 5 or 6%, and you lose that much power, that could be diverted to the GPU.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that's why a lot of the aftermarket cards raise that power limit so that the fans and all that don't eat into the additional power to the GPU.
So sliding that thing up, you're really only just restoring the power you lost by running the fans.
Yeah, I wondered how, and I thought about doing this in a video, but I don't know if it's enough information to deserve its own video. I wanted to know how much the Founders Edition cooler eats up in terms of power limit, because you only get to go to 100. I say only; it's actually really good, 120% power limit.
Yeah, because on the 980s, I think it's like 110.
And some of them, like I think the Founders, the reference 980 Ti, I believe, was limited to like 109, something like that.
Can you unlock it? Is there a way to unlock that?
Through
and be
BIOS
like,
hacking, yeah.
Okay, you have to hack the BIOS to do it.
No, you just download Maxwell BIOS Editor, and you can literally just type in a new number, save it, and off it goes.
See, I've never done any of that stuff,
Yeah,
so I didn't realize
really
it was that easy. I figured it was like you had to get in there and like solder shit. And...
No, the what started with like Kepler BIOS Editor
Okay.
and then was updated to Maxwell BIOS Editor literally is a GUI, and you fill it all out in GUI form, and it actually shows you the table, the voltage table, so you can play with it. But anyway, I wanted to know how much the cooler used in terms of percentage.
Okay.
Because it's like, okay, you can raise it to 120, but if you then crank the fan to 100% because you want to keep it cool, are you really just offsetting a fan, how much the fans eat? And the Founders Edition card is about 5 to 6% of the power limit. So really, you're still afforded like 114% to the GPU and other things on the card.
So it's still hugely beneficial to run that thing up to max, basically. And there's no danger in doing it, right?
And the way I figured that out was, as the card is sitting at idle, it's only 139 megahertz when it's sitting there at idle, the 1080 anyway. And so the power limit was at like 4, right? It shows 4. That's a percentage number. So it's only 4% of that TDP at idle, with the fans running at idle speed, I think at 20. So then I took the fans and cranked them to 100, and then it jumped up to 10%. So the TDP went up to 10 with the fan moving and the GPU sitting at the same megahertz.
Okay.
At idle. So that's how I figured it's good for about 6% power draw off the TDP.
It's crazy to think that the fans are pulling that much power away, though. Like
at 5,000 RPM on that little Delta fan.
That's crazy. Like I just it's hard for me to wrap my head around. Like it's like my computer, that I got sitting back here in my old liquid cooler rig. I had 24 of like the most powerful fans that you could buy, the 120 millimeter guys.
Yeah.
And it's like I guess I just never realized how much power it was pulling. I mean, I have a 1,300 watt power supply in that beast.
Right.
But it'd be funny just to hook a kilowatt to it and crank all, start them all at nothing, crank them all up and see how many watts it's pulling. Because, actually, you know what? Now that you said that, I'm actually a little worried because down in my garage I have a push-pull exhaust system that goes through the wall from under my stairs into the garage. And I run 2 of those Ultra Quasi fans, and I'm just running them off this little 12-volt AC adapter brick that's like hotter than shit when you touch it.
Oh, someday it's just
gonna catch fire and burn my house down. So I should probably check on that.
It's pretty damp around here. You have time. To get to it.
It's Washington. If a fire starts, humidity will put itself out.
I know. We also learned today on that duck tour that apparently Seattle likes to just randomly burn itself down.
That's true. Oh, did you guys see
That's why all the buildings are in brick now because of the Great Fire of blah, blah, blah that took out 20 blocks.
You guys should do the...
apparently even your fire stations have been known to burn to the ground around here.
It happens.
It's like, oh my God, it's
sometimes they forget to put water in the engine.
We live in the desert, though. Kindling sends buildings just...
I was going to say, you're one to talk, Mr. Live in California. Well, because you walk out and got the burning bush in your front yard and start praying to it.
Yeah. But also, too, in California, where we are, everything is, especially the homes and stuff, I guess you would be here, too, but even downtown, there's a lot of wood structure. There's a lot of wood, and we don't get brick like you guys have here. So things do burn pretty easily where I'm from.
That's crazy. Well, at least my house is made of wood, so I'm pretty sure it'd burn all right.
Yeah.
Let's see here. What's going on over in the comments? What do we got here?
Put a heat sink on it, Jerry.
Let's see. Put a heat sink on it.
Just take some heat sink and 2-sided tape.
That would actually be kind of funny. Just some epoxy, some Elmer's glue. That could work.
And then the air that it's pulling, and then just take the brick and put it up by the fans that's pulling the air through. And then it's active cool.
That's genius. That's
a jerry rig video.
And it would heat my garage.
Yeah.
Because it would be pulling the heat off of that out of the closet and putting it in my garage. Dude, this is genius. That's jerry rigged right there.
See, we don't need to heat garages where I'm from. We try and keep them a little cool.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, look, you're probably laughing at me because I keep my house at about 68, 70 degrees, right? You're probably like, this probably feels cold to you.
Oh, yeah, it's chilly.
And it's like,
it's chilly in this room with all these electronics.
Yeah, I run an AC in here because everything gets so hot in here, so I keep my room at a constant 68 or 70 degrees. And then downstairs, I have another AC that you saw over by the window that keeps the rest of the house cool. Yeah. So it's pretty crazy. Hey, should we head over to old Twitter and see if anybody's asking any questions over there?
Let's go to the twatter.
Go to the Twitter. Here, where'd Hobbs go? Hobbs got bored and started typing funny things into the document. I think he typed testicles in there. Let's see, where is it? Oh, he deleted it. He used to say testicles down there. I think he got nervous when we started talking about dicks and ran away. Let's see. Okay, so let's do a search.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Today's Coconut Monkey's birthday. I feel like a jerk now.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah. Happy birthday, Coconut Monkey.
Happy birthday to Nick.
I feel like a jerk, but I already gave him his gift. So
to Nick.
I gave it to him before I left.
Well, when I come down there, I'm going to give him a big old hug. Nick, I'm going to snuggle the shit out of you.
Speaking of which, we should finalize those dates while I'm up here.
No, actually, you know what? Right after Tech Talk, you want to just go buy tickets?
Yeah.
Let's just do it.
We've already got a time frame of when he's coming. We just have to finalize the actual dates now.
I like that Ask Tech Talk. It's just me sucking on the end of my missile here.
This ain't nothing compared to how the IPS raped me with the barbed thingamabobber.
With the barbed thingamabobber.
That was a tank barrel.
I thought it was funny. Before I put the bullet in the casing, it actually did just look like I was printing a dildo. And it's funny because that's the third most requested thing. First is gun, second is bong, third is dildo.
It's actually weighty.
It is.
Weighty.
Yeah.
Why didn't you 3D print a primer?
I was kind of thinking about just putting one in it, like just taking something hammers in there. But the problem with 3D print, like little text and stuff, is this lays on the build plate. So it would have been really hard to clean it all out because it'd have material in it. So
no matter how much you sand this, you're always going to have these lines?
Yes, because of the model. If you had modeled it correctly, like this is modeled from polygons, that's why you have those edges.
Right.
If you had to use splines, it would have just been a cylinder, and it would have came out perfect.
You should probably keep the hand motions that you're doing on stream chill. I'm over here like, huh, and you're like, yeah, you go to the There's
a missile! There's a missile! There's a missile!
There's a gift for you.
Right there, be like...
Don't look down the barrel. Keep one-eyed Willie at bay.
Here, I'll hold this. This is a little bit more PC. My lightsaber.
Oh, jeez.
I know.
Here
Out of control. This is how Tech Talk goes, guys. Tech Talk is uncensored. This is a family show for people that don't mind uncensored things. Let's see.
My hands smell funny now. I touch something in here, and I start to smell weird.
Well, I didn't wipe down the desk before you came in here, so you're probably pregnant now.
Geez.
I'm just saying. Let's see here. Ronnie B says, Ask Tech Talk, is JayzTwoCents afraid to drink at Barnacules' house since last time?
The only reason I'm not enjoying a few cocktails right now, the reason why I'm not enjoying a few drinks
why aren't you blistering drunk farting on my floor?
Well, one, we talked about it yesterday, and you're like, no alcohol.
I got gout. Well, no, I didn't say you couldn't have alcohol. I just said I couldn't.
Well, and two, I'm driving. I'm not staying here tonight.
This is true. He does have to get back to his place. Yeah. His place of origin.
I'm driving.
So there's your
driving
answer.
The family. The wife and the kids are downstairs.
I'll make you a deal. When I go down to Jay's later this month, I will have a couple drinks. I'm not going to get blistering drunk and shit myself on his floor like he did.
Fortunately, where you're going to be staying is on the same floor as where the office is, so I don't have to deal with stairs when you get drunk.
Ooh, nice.
But I'll get drunk too, so...
So we'll just crawl each other across the floor, and then you'll tumble down the stairs to get to your room?
The problem with my stairs isn't like yours, where they're pretty much straight to the bottom. I have a switchback midway. So
so you're just going to slam into the wall and then just keep going?
Or through the wall into the outside. Because remember, we do have that sheetrock construction.
I just got this epic mental picture. Oh my god. Oh, Hobbs said it's still there. I just need to scroll down in the document. Hold on here. Where's testicles?
Whoa.
Whoa!
He put up that TJ Miata that TJ Hunt did the review of.
Oh, was that the one TJ did? Yeah. Oh, dude, that's not just stance.
That was literally a no fucks given car.
Why is it always Miatas?
Well, the guy has 3 Miatas, and he just did that one as kind of like a troll on society.
I like how the oil cooler's just hanging off the bumper.
Look at the LED light bar.
I'll have to put a picture of this.
I mean, the LED light bar alone. Look at that thing.
Well, that's actually the only part on the car that looks like it's worth $5. Oh, that's crazy. All right, so back to Aztec here. Actually, we got Septicone X saying, would you change William to liquid cooling if you could? Absolutely not.
No, there's no point.
And I will tell you why. I'm not going to say I'm done with liquid cooling because I still like the look and the idea of it, but it's more of a cosmetic thing because when I went to Puget Systems, they took me through their process, showed me how they created their brackets and placed their fans and everything. They did exactly what they said. They built an air-cooled system that was quieter and less power consumption than the liquid cooling system. And my liquid cooling system I built back here, the pump has died in it twice. The liquid inside of it has etched the tubing. Now, granted, there's solutions.
That always happens with soft tubing, though.
Yep, and then the liquid stuff or whatever got gummed up and got stuck in my flow meter. So my flow meter kept failing.
That's also because you chose terrible fluid.
So in a nutshell, I made every mistake possible. So it's probably not a good example of why not to water cool. But let's just say I was scarred. I like the fact that all I have to do is once every 3 years take the side of my case off and blow it out with canned air, and I'm done.
Every 3 years.
It's funny, last time I took it back to Puget, they're like, you haven't cleaned this thing once since we gave it to you, right? I was like, oh.
That's how you treat your stuff.
I know, I'm such a dick. Let's see here. What do we got? Let's see. IRNH3D? How do you even pronounce that? IRN 3D.
IRN head?
He said, question, tempered glass side panel cases, worthwhile for liquid cooled builds or not? Like what?
The liquid cooling doesn't matter. It just the tempered glass will look prettier. It won't scratch, and you can wipe the dust off it easier. Like every time you wipe the dust off of an acrylic panel, it
scratches it.
Yeah.
No, I've noticed that. Even like wiping it with paper towels and stuff like that, I've noticed
nothing you do will stop acrylic from scratching. It's just too soft.
My thing is, if you're going to go liquid cooling, realize that you're not just doing it for a thermal efficiency. You're doing it because it looks good, right? I mean, you're doing it because it's a pretty thing. You're picking fluids and tubing and fittings and shit like that and spending tons of money. Mm-hmm. It would be stupid to do all that work and then hide it behind a scratched piece of plexiglass.
Yeah.
Like, I would do tempered glass. You know what would be pretty bitchin' is, do they make a fully tempered glass case where they just, like, make the little fittings and stuff to hold the panels together, but it's all tempered glass?
InWin is the company that would have the closest thing to that. They do have panels. They do have cases that are like tempered glass all around it. But it's the structure of it isn't tempered glass. But tempered glass is sort of the outside of it.
So I was thinking, how cool would a liquid cooled rig look if the motherboard and everything was just floating? Like you could have the inner pieces be plastic that hold like the components. But the entire outside, except for like pieces holding the corners together and fitting the piece, was all tempered glass. That would look bitchin'. Somebody should do that.
Who told me this? I think it might have been Paul's Hardware. Don't quote me on who it was, but at the NVIDIA event in Austin, I was talking with someone about tempered glass side panels on the InWin case, and they said that I can't remember who it was. So don't quote me who it was. If you're watching, and you were the one who told me this story, chime in. But anyway, he was unscrewing the side panels, the side case on the InWin case. And the panel dropped like an inch. It just kind of like dunk. But when it hit the ground, it just shattered like all over the place.
Oh,
but
man.
But apparently it was a defective panel because it's tempered glass, so it's designed to shatter. But it's also really strong. But they warranted it and replaced the side panel. But it was like an inch fall. And it just shattered because apparently it wasn't treated properly. Because they're supposed to be able to take a pretty good hit.
Yeah, I was gonna say tempered glass is like.
There's other videos even of some of the in-wind side panels showing that you could drop the thing and it like bounced around.
Is it like safety glass too? Like when it shatters, it's just thousands of little itty. Oh shit, that stuff's impossible to clean.
Kind of like when you break a car window.
Yeah. I'm still finding pieces of glass from when I got my window broke out like 2 years ago.
Oh yeah, you never get rid of all of it.
If you're the person that broke my window out to steal my radar detector and then tore the power cable out of the dash, you're dipshit.
So, but on Red Mist and Skunkworks, I'm doing tempered glass side panels. But I'm not doing like the method of getting the glass cut and then just taping it on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually going to a glass manufacturer and I'm having them cut it and drill the holes exactly where they need to be. I'm bringing them the acrylic side panel out of the SMA8 case and saying, make this out of glass with the holes. So that'll be
pretty cool.
The reason why I can't do the tape method is because built into the SMA8 case, what a lot of people don't realize is that there are studs that stick out of those for the panel to slide on and then nuts hold it together.
Oh, so it'd be gapped if you tried to tape it, so you want it to actually fit flush.
Right. So I don't want to have to deal with that or cut those off, obviously.
If they cut the holes in the glass, is it going to weaken it at all? Like, is it going to...
I don't think so. Not when they do a diamond bit and they drill it and camber
Okay.
it. Yeah, I just have to make sure I don't crank down the nut too tight.
I think that would actually kind of
be
a cool thing, too.
Don't crank your nuts too tight, guys.
Don't ever crank your nuts too tight. I think it'd actually be kind of cool if they did the tempered glass and actually drilled it as a grid. So it was airy and air could move through it, but it was still like completely crystal clear. That'd be pretty sweet. Let's see here. You're still all tired. You didn't even sleep yesterday.
Actually, I got...
Oh, did you get a lot of sleep?
No, last night I slept almost 12 hours. Yeah, before we came out here, I don't sleep well before we travel. We had to get up at 3 a.m. to get to LAX by 5 to prepare for our flight. And so I just didn't go to bed the night before our vacation. So I was up yesterday 36 hours. So I didn't sleep since 9:30 a.m. the day before yesterday. So I was up 36 straight hours.
I'm just laughing because in chat somebody's like, I'm sorry, I needed the power cable. Like, he broke the window out of my car. It's like, you son of a bitch. Why is everybody still saying dab? Is that like...
I don't know. I think other YouTubers are doing it, and so they're trying to get YouTubers to do it. Oh. But I don't want to do it because they're telling me to do it.
I still don't even know what it is, really.
Yeah.
Like,
okay, look up dab so you actually understand. Right. It's like a hip-hop thing.
All right, let's see here. Because I keep thinking it's like a marijuana thing. Like,
you're like, what is dab?
Like, what is dab? Urban Dictionary, dab.
It's funny, you brought up dab, because last time you were like, oh, dab's a marijuana thing, and that's like number one on there. It's a marijuana thing.
Yeah. Let's see, to touch one's foot to the ground while bicycling. No, that's not...
Just go to YouTube. If you want to see what dab really... Don't go to Urban Dictionary. You're such a dork.
See, to administer a drug in powder form orally, the index finger of it gums. So this is a dab... I'm dabbing.
Only on...
I'm dabbing.
Because you do your crack. You're always doing your crack.
Always doing my crack. Oh my god, the stay off the nose candy for a while. Okay, apparently everybody and their brother... Okay.
But that was from 2003.
Yeah. That was like, dude, you got...
YouTube.com. You were ending up somewhere really bad.
I almost went to that porn site.
Do how to dab.
Okay, here we go.
How to dab on YouTube.
All right. How to dab. Here we go.
There, right there. That one.
All right, here we go.
That's
the dab dance tutorial.
But we don't want to listen to it.
No, I got to mute it. All right, just show me the dab, dude.
All right, so this is a dab.
Hold on, I'm learning a dab for you guys.
That's a dab, but you have to literally bring your foot off the ground too when you do that.
Oh, so you got to bring foot and be like, is this dabbing?
Yeah, but they can't see your feet.
Oh wait, hold on. Am I dabbing now?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, I dabbed. There.
Does it really take 3 minutes and 32 seconds to teach someone how to dab?
Well, I'm imagining the people that watch these types of videos are a little slow.
They need to go into the appropriate time to unleash the dab. When not to dab.
I have dabbed for you. I just want some acknowledgement for that. I dabbed for you people. Let's see here. Sergeant Turtle says, Windows 10 seems to hate my EVGA GTX 960. They gave me an RMA, but I'm concerned the perpetual code 43 will persist. Advice?
I've never seen any of those codes.
Yeah,
so just to sort of update, because to do the 1080 reviews, I was forced to update my test bench to Windows 10. You got a lot of sun coming in through those blinds right now.
Oh, do I?
Yeah.
Here, let me close her down. Hold on. I'm closing her down.
Oh, that's the wrong way. There we go. Okay, so look at my eyeball. Look at my eyeball. I look like I'm having...
You're like the Terminator.
Okay, so I was forced to upgrade to Windows 10 on the test bench because the test drivers they gave us, really? So I like
those weird people. Like when you get a camera pointed, you just have to do stupid
well,
shit.
Here's the thing: some folks have been like, you look like Sid the Sloth, right?
Yeah.
From Ice Age.
You actually do now that you mentioned
but
that.
But that's what that face has always been.
Oh
Whenever I've done that face, that
noise.
So anyway,
you are Sid.
I was forced to update to Windows 10. I had initial problems because I just let it do the update.
Mm-hmm.
But then once I did a clean install, I haven't had any issues.
No.
So obviously, other than having to turn off all of the spyware.
This is the thing I've made abundantly clear in my videos, but people keep attacking me for. Is I say in the videos, I like Windows 10. I run Windows 10. I just don't like the privacy shit and how Microsoft is deploying it and how they're lying to people. That's the part I don't like. The operating system itself is actually decent. It's a huge leap forward from Windows 8.1. I mean, Windows 8.1 was like a demonstration of, holy shit, we need to get a beta out. What do we got there?
You're just repeating that over and over.
Oh, okay. Well, here.
You just took the wrong guy.
No,
Don't you hate how you go to ban someone?
I know you block like 7 people trying to get the one guy. It's like, it's collateral damage.
The guy that ends up getting blocked, the one that's like, F all the haters, I love what you do. Block.
Yeah, guys, try not to type shit so close to the terrorist. Because there might be some collateral damage there, and we're trying to take you out in chat. Oh my god.
Happy birthday. Thank you.
Actually, I'm feeling kind of blocked.
Actually, it's a late. Some people are like, happy late birthday.
We're weird. I'm not. I think we're weird.
Jay looks like Gargamel from the Smurfs.
You do actually. You totally do. I love Gargamel. See, why is it every single time we have a tech talk, everybody starts political debates over here in the chat? You ever notice that?
Because that's hot topic right now.
Say, can you talk about Trump and Hillary? Hillary's a liar, and Trump's a liar.
Or you mean
build a wall.
But how about Hillary Clinton trying to give a speech about inequality while wearing a $12,400 Armani jacket? And then when she's called out on it, they eBayed it.
I don't understand. Like, what's inequality about that?
Everybody gets to wear Armani.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
At least that's what I thought. Everybody's like, did Jerry used to work for Microsoft? Yes, I used to work for Microsoft.
So it's funny.
That somehow invalidates my opinion.
So someone is just saying Trump over and over, right?
Yep.
You know what's funny about that is there's this video about actually, it wasn't a video. It was a Facebook post that was going around viral, right?
Uh-huh.
This guy says he pulls into the gas station and he gets out and he's starting to pump gas. And this guy comes up to him and he's like, it's a black dude. He comes up to the guy pumping his gas, who happens to be a white dude.
Yeah.
And apparently the black dude was like, what the hell, you racist, blah, 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 blah. And this guy's like, what? And this guy was coming at him. And finally, I guess the guy like picked up a trash can and threw it at the guy pumping gas or whatever. And he's like, what the hell? So finally he just laid this guy out, right? The guy pumping gas just laid this guy out. So the guy gets up or whatever and he's like, you racist MMFer, take off that Trump shirt. He was wearing a shirt that said Triumph.
Oh my god.
So he posted pictures like, this is the shirt I was wearing. So this guy came at him and apparently was screaming at him, calling him a racist, thinking he was like promoting Trump. And it was that Triumph brand.
He's wearing a shirt that says turnip on it and he just got his ass kicked.
Turnip.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was Triumph.
Do you think Jay is poor? That's why he doesn't have a 3D printer? Jay is pretty poor.
You know, the only reason I haven't gotten it, remember I took that picture at PDX.
I'm laughing. No, I laughed.
Stands for his bruh.
Yeah, somebody. Yeah, I'm gonna retweet that. That's great. That's good retweet.
So anyway, remember I gave you so much shit for dressing that way the whole trip down there. I'm like, dude, do you have to wear that? He's like, yep. Anyway,
I think I more just did that just to mess with you and annoy you, wearing my pimp my setup and my hats. I don't.
No,
I don't
my
do
setup
that.
doesn't annoy me, but the hat, the hat and the bandana is what really just kind of did it, right? So anyway,
because that's so not me. You know that's not me. It was like just funny.
The Under Armour hat sideways with the Nike bandana. We were actually at Puget picking up the computers when I took that picture.
We were.
But I took the picture of you. You were like mid-sentence talking to me, and I just was like,
click,
like really fast about it.
And then you got all.
That's the only way I could have taken a picture of you without you making a dumb face, though.
That's true, actually.
You
Anytime somebody posts or points a camera at me, I make a dumb face. Let's see. Can you look up Layton on Urban Dictionary? No, I will not look up Layton.
I will.
Do
How do you
it.
spell
Look
it?
up Layton.
Okay.
It doesn't sound like a bad word, but something tells me it's going to be like snoodling or something.
Snoodling? Try to look up snoodling.
Go look up snoodling.
I don't know what snoodling is.
Snoodling is going to break you. Like, once you look up snoodling, you're never going to be able to, like, look at anything.
All right, so Layton is a city located in Davis County, Utah. That's not so bad.
Oh.
Urban Dictionary.
Okay, so that wasn't at all what I was thinking.
Oh.
What are you looking for?
Oh.
Oh, did you find it? Let's see.
Oh. I do like the way they misspelled ejaculate, though.
Yeah. I didn't know there was a G in ejaculate. All right.
Come on. What do you egagulate?
Oh my god. I hate it when I gag.
Yeah, I looked that up. That's actually impressive.
That is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Like, how do you get a measure on that? Oh, or being a knife expert. Isn't that kind of like the two ends of the spectrum?
You could either be a knife expert in Modern Warfare 3 or that.
Be like, damn, you got a good Layton, son. And it's like you're talking about, like...
How many people are now, like, just going to Urban Dictionary now, hammering it with looking up Layton?
It is. We just probably crashed their website. Let's see. Tucker Polson asks, best bookshelf speaker monitors in your opinion. I've been looking at the Audio Engine's A5s and the A2 Pluses.
What were the speakers you had with the yellow cone?
I sold mine to the KRK Rocket 5s.
Oh, okay.
And they're actually really, really good speakers. They don't fit with these huge screens. Like, you can see, my biggest problem with these screens was I had to put different stands on them, which, like, who puts aftermarket stands on TVs, right? That was a weird thing to begin with. But I did that just so I could put the speakers underneath them.
See, Gamer Loader says ejaculate should be a thing.
Hashtag egagulate.
And that's why Wikipedia should always be used as a real source.
Yeah, do not use Urban Dictionary. Use Wikipedia.
All schoolwork should be done using Wikipedia and Urban Dictionary cited as sources. Could you imagine the future?
Dude, I can't imagine the future.
Can it be worse than it is now?
No.
Okay.
It's like, I hope not. Huh. It's like pretty soon, like, even to log into the internet, you'll have to put, like, little clamps on your nipples so people can electrocute you.
Every now and then I'll get a really well-articulated message written to me that starts out with someone telling me the reason why they're offended. But the moment they tell me that they're writing me to let me know they're offended, I stop reading.
Yeah, I do too. Like, or like the title. Every time I get an email that's like the title's unsubscribe, I just delete the mail. Yeah. And I get a guy who messaged me back and he's like, "What gives?" Because I didn't respond to him, and it was the title of the mail was unsubscribe. And he's like, "I really love your channel, but YouTube unsubscribed me, so I had to subscribe back." And I like blocked his message, and I look like a dick. Jerk. I look like a dick. It happens.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So let's see here.
Jerry, do you like Star Trek?
Of course I love Star Trek. What self-respecting nerd doesn't like Star Trek?
Iesis no honomi swa 99811.
Esa no homa shiwa 9881. I hope I pronounced that right.
And he's got his little icon there was the dramatic.
Yeah,
yeah. The little dramatic badger or whatever that is. Not a badger, it's a squirrel. Is that a squirrel? Hamster. Dramatic hamster.
Dramatic hamster. We're going to go with our prairie dog, maybe. I don't know.
Whatever.
Let's see. Luke Plays says, car related. I love it.
Oh, I love car related.
I want to start a car project, and I got 1K Canadian, which is like 50,000 US now, right? I'm just kidding.
It's the other way around. 1K Canadian is less than $1,000.
Starting a car for $1,000, like
you need to save more money.
I think for $1,000, all you're really doing is just getting something that might run.
Or you could buy a Honda, stance it, and still have enough left over for a cheeseburger.
That's true. That is absolutely true. Or you could buy a Miata that runs perfectly fine.
80 miles an hour top speed though.
No, I was on Craigslist. There's like some dude selling a Miata on there that had like it had the whole hard top, but the hard top was missing. He's like, the hard top's gone. Like, I don't know what happened to it. And it had the little roll bar over it, but it was completely beat. Paint was like falling off and everything. It was like $700. Like, runs great, doesn't burn oil.
Loves his car to death.
It's like, all right, I'll pay $700.
So Sterling Goodwood gathered. Stop moving the thing.
I'm like scrolling a 50-inch screen. Jay's chasing it around.
How excited are you for full integration of DirectX 12?
Not really.
Until the developers start developing for it. But the problem was we always had DirectX, and that was really the thing people cared most about. Yeah. Then AMD 3 years ago was like, hey, we got this thing called Mantle, and the Mantle sort of evolved into Vulkan. And so now it's like, can we pick a standard?
What I don't like is that Microsoft is trying to tie DirectX 12 to the marketplace. Yeah. They're trying to get people to write modern apps, and that's why you see most of the indie game developers.
But you know what's funny, though, is regarding the SLI thing, and NVIDIA keeps changing their stance on it, because they've ditched the enthusiast key thing now, right?
Yeah, that was weird. Like, what?
And the reason
what did I tell you the first time you told me that, too?
You'll change your mind again.
I was like, it's the dumbest shit ever.
So, I did that video after having a direct conversation with NVIDIA saying, I need to get the details. After I did that video about the the truth about the 3-way and 4-way SLI, I had I don't know how many conversations with NVIDIA about that to make sure, like, okay, here's what I'm going to say. I want to make sure I get it right. I need all the info. Guys, I need you to respond to me. I need to know everything about this. So that was information given directly from the horse's mouth. So now that video is completely inaccurate because all of a sudden they're like, we're not going to do the enthusiast key anymore, but we're also not going to enable it on games. It's going to be on like benchmarks and things like that now.
Yeah.
So I don't. But one of the reasons why they're saying that they're limiting the 3-way and 4-way is because they're too tied into how Microsoft is integrating DirectX 12. Yeah. So they're basically saying there's just too many hands involved with this. Just Microsoft's got their hand in the way the API is being developed, and then we've got the
So everybody's doing one of these. Like, it's them, it's not us.
And NVIDIA's kind of caught in the middle, right? Because they've got to have the developers code for SLI, but then SLI is going to be built on the foundation of the API.
And they got AMD trying to call Microsoft, but they won't answer the phone.
They're on a payphone.
Like, they have to call them through like their India tech support line.
Oh, you know what we haven't done in a while? Let's look at AMD stock.
Oh, yeah.
It's been going up.
You know, we should do a segment every week called, like, is AMD still alive? Or, like, the pulse on AMD.
But they've been going up.
Oh, have they?
Yeah. Right, remember last time we looked, they were at $1. No, not last time we looked. When we started this, they were at $1 per share. And the last time we looked, they were at $3 per share.
Why didn't I buy AMD stock?
And now they're $4.52 per share.
Oh,
so
my
when
God.
we were, like last year when we were joking around, like, look, it's at $1.
We would have been rich
if you had just bought like as much money as you could on that. You would have
in 1 year you would have
4.5 times your money.
Yeah, 450% on an investment's pretty damn significant. Wow, that's actually a decent
So look
uptrend,
at the last year.
Okay, let's see here.
See, it's coming up again.
Look at that massive spike. What the hell happened there? What happened on April 22nd that caused AMD to basically like go up by like $1.50 in one day?
They sold a company car. I don't know. Look at the 5-year. Look at the 5-year.
They fired the janitor.
See, they were really high around 2011-ish.
Yeah, real high, $8. What's NVIDIA at? Like 30, 40 or something?
But if you look at the correlation of, and I wish they could see it. So we're seeing a chart here.
Let's explain it. Let's use our vocal.
Okay, so we're using a chart here of AMD's 5-year stock history, and around 2011 it was pretty high, and it's the highest it's been in the last 5 years. But if you look at that. That also correlates to when the 7970 gigahertz edition was faster than the 680, which was NVIDIA's fastest card at the time.
Okay.
But since then, NVIDIA or AMD has not been faster when it comes to the top tier cards.
Let's look at the NVIDIA stock. Yeah, $47.38. Although, look, they've plateaued a lot.
They've been plateaued. That's today, dude. Look at the year.
Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, crap. Okay, no, they're actually doing phenomenally.
Look at the 5-year.
Wait, is that around the same time? Wait, April?
No, that's 2016. That correlates with 1080 launch.
1080 launch.
So 1080 launched and the stocks went boing, like straight up.
So I think we're learning something. Look at some of these little jumps.
See, 5 years they're stagnant.
NVIDIA is just climbing like a rock star right now.
Over the last 1 year, but if you look at the last 5 years though, they were pretty level. Like nothing really happening in terms of stock value.
No, you're right. I mean, it was a slow increase.
Okay, what's the max? Look at the lifetime. See it right there? They were on top. And then they fell.
They did plummet. Look, they went from $35 down to $8, so they almost pulled an AMD. They pulled an AMD at one point.
Unless the stock split.
Actually, I didn't even consider that. You're probably right. Because look, how much was it up here? It's 34. No, because look, it drops from 35 down to almost 8. There's no way it split in that period of time, like twice.
Yeah, it would have been like overnight.
Yeah, it would have been split a couple of times. That's crazy. So NVIDIA is still technically in the lead. Don't worry, we will keep you posted on this epic stock battle between AMD and NVIDIA.
Well, I don't think they're trying to compete on the stock market, though.
No. I'm pretty sure, like, if NVIDIA was serious, they could buy AMD.
Like I said, last year, we were teasing AMD going, they were only worth $1 a share. But
and the truth
you
is,
could have cleaned house.
Could have cleaned house. If I'd have bought $20,000 worth of stock last year, I'd have 100 G's right now.
Yeah. But if only we knew what everything was going to happen in the market before it happened, right?
No, it's true. Stock
then it would be worth nothing.
Stock investment's scary business.
If everyone knew the market before it happened, everyone would be broke.
That's true. It would be like
because no one would make money.
Dude, this stock's going to go up by like $20 more. Then everybody goes and buys it, and the demand just goes like drops through the floor.
Yeah.
Oops. All right, let's see what we got here.
So, but I think right now too.
How to dab. Oh my God!
If you look at if you look at this though, I think there's a lot of people right now that are really banking on Polaris. Now, and Polaris is one of the first real, I think, jumps in their architecture since. And I kind of want to keep Fury out of this because HBM is Unfortunately for AMD, their HBM1 is not performing anywhere near even where NVIDIA is right now, still on classic architecture. But at the same time, too, the problem was I think AMD tried so hard to get HBM out first, it being limited to 4 gigabytes is really showing its limitations now. Because that was one of the reasons when I did my 1080 versus Fury X benchmarking, I was like, oh my goodness. The amount of RAM being used by some of these games, because it's got 8 gigabytes available to it.
And modding is a big deal now, and everybody's mod packs like, let's make the textures 4 times crisper, you know?
Yeah, and the textures are like 5 times the size of 4K. And so you look at that, what was limiting the Fury was I was maxing out RAM on every test. Every test was maxing out the RAM. And that was a question a lot of people had when the Fury came out was, is 4 gigabytes enough? Because prior to the Fury, they had 8 gigabyte 290Xs and 8 gigabyte 390Xs. And then it was, okay, so they have these 8 gigabyte cards, which are great for the upper resolution, or even 1080 with super high resolution texture packs. Is 4 gigs enough? And I think the answer is no, obviously.
No, and then right now, what's 1080 sitting at 8, right?
8. Obviously, Titan X is at 12. I can't come near 12. My most demanding test, I use 9 of it. But the 1080 on certain tests was using all 8 gigabytes.
Oh, look, Adam actually corrected us on the stock. So May 5th, 2000, actually hit 92 bucks. Our chart was like way more compressed, so we didn't see that spike. Yeah. But holy cow, so at one point, AMD was at almost $100 a share.
But also to point out, our chart didn't go back that far.
That's true. So basically what happened on this day was, or the day after that happened, was everybody jumped out of the building. But nobody died because it was only 3 stories tall because they couldn't afford a big building.
Because everyone bought it 92 bucks and then it went to like.
Could you imagine that? Like the stock, because look at that spike, right?
Yeah.
Everybody was buying stock like crazy because they're like, look at this thing, it's going to the moon, and then the next day it just crashed.
Everyone that bought there, if they still had it, sold there.
Yeah. No, that actually happened to me once when I worked at Microsoft. Because what they do is they'll give you like stock awards, and you can choose to basically sell them or keep them, right? And then you got to pay the thing. And they gave me a stock award, and that day like went up by like $15, and I was like, oh my god, I got to sell this. And then the next day went up by like 26, and the next day went up by like another 30. It was like over $100, and then the stock split. And then as soon as it split, it kept going up, and I was like, no.
That's why the best investors have patience.
Yeah, I didn't have any patience, and then the worst part is I had to pay large term capital gains on it. Because I sold it right after I got it.
So Zachary McAllis is asking, any updates on Frozen CPU?
Yeah.
I don't know.
What's going on with the Frozen CPU? Whoa. Some screenshots I took.
Frozen CPU is, I don't know.
Are they still kicking along after all that?
Yeah, their website's still around, but...
I kind of forget like what happened with that. Didn't the guy like go on like a bender, like the CEO went on like drug-fueled bender or something like that?
Well,
like,
that was what apparently started all of it.
Yeah.
But since then they lost like their merchant account. They couldn't take credit card orders. So you were having to like call them as they punched the number into like a square. I'm not even kidding. Not even kidding. What for a while there you had to do was you had to kind of put together your own list of parts you want. Like you had to write down the stock number and call them and be like, I want this and this and this and this and this and this. And they're like, okay, give me your credit card and put it in over the phone because they lost all their online merchant accounts for processing orders.
James said AMD offers no dividend. It's because they can't afford it.
Go to FrozenCPU.com.
All right, let's see if they're still even open.
Well, they're there, but see if there's any news.
Okay, don't type in FrozenGoo.com. CPU.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, they're still there. Their site still looks like it was
but add something to a cart.
All right, here we go. We're gonna go buy a Primo Chill Vortex.
That's a pump top.
The pump top. All right, I'm gonna buy a pump top. Where the
the flow indicator. Never mind.
How the hell do I add
$25 flow indicator? Exactly. Configure and add to cart.
Oh, here we go. Okay, configure, add to cart. Brings me down here.
Right there, add to cart.
I want this and I want this. All right, add to cart.
Now continue to check out.
Continue to check out. Returning customer, new customer.
Guest login.
Guest login. Shipping address, billing address.
Because we want to get the payment info is what we want to know. So just put in like 123 Fake Street, ASD, 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 ASD. It's going to know that that's wrong.
Hold on.
What's is that a Waska?
It's a Waska.
A Waska?
All right. we'll put in a real number.
Okay.
All right, there we go. Okay, so now
copy from shipping.
All right, go to the next one.
No, you
oh, did I do that?
You did copy to shipping.
No! Okay, hold on. We'll do it again.
You have to put numbers in the address at least.
I'm doing it. No, you don't.
That is a terrible city name. It's gonna. Jeez.
Okay, what do I gotta push? Copy the billing. Okay, there. I got it. All right. This website's confusing.
Okay, so pick a shipping method.
All right, so UPS overnight Saturday delivery.
$122 overnight shipping.
Like twice what it is.
No, it's a $24 item.
Comment. Icon has liquids.
Yeah.
All right, whatever. Okay.
What's the colon for? Is that a subliminal message?
Yeah, don't worry about it. All right, so email address, whatever@whatever.com. All right, they're not going to think this is fake at all, friend. Who referred me? JayzTwoCents. JayzTwoCents referred me to this fake checkout. All right.
Oh, look at that. You can actually put in your
They
credit card
actually have a credit card input
Well,
now.
you know what I might have to do then, just like I did before. Because remember, to test the whole theory, when everyone told me, like, you're full of shit, orders are still shipping, was I tried to buy, like, some fluid.
Yeah.
And 2 months later, it still hadn't been notified that it was even picked yet. And so I just canceled my order, and and for the record, I never got back my money.
That's pretty crazy.
I never got back the money from my canceled order. But anyway, we'll have to buy something. We'll have to buy something.
Interesting. All right, so let's go to, let's see, Hops added us a new topic here. The heck's this? Oh, Seattle Times, so this is local news for me. Hold on.
Do you really want to touch that one?
No, not really. Every time we touch that one, we get burned pretty bad.
The problem with that is that's very specific to where we live, and it's not, or to where you live.
Yeah, that's true. So
remember, I can't do that anyway.
Yeah, you can't. I live in Washington. All right. Well, we're not.
Okay. Well, if you guys are wondering what we're talking about, you cannot dab while agagulating.
You cannot dab while agagulating in Seattle, Washington.
The city ordinance.
They're not allowing concealed agagulation.
The sewers were starting to get clogged.
Totally. All right, let's see here. Will Work for Tech said, "Thank you for taking the time to answer my email question earlier this week. Love the support for your fans. You are welcome." A lot of people actually get mad at me when I don't respond to their emails, but I respond to as many as I can. You guys have to realize, when I open up my email box, there's like 300 emails in there, and if I responded to every single one of them, I'd never make a video, and I'd never be on social media again. So I can't do that. But I try. Hey, so Jay, Tanner Locklear would like to know what kind of budget FreeSync monitor he should get for his R9 380. Do you have any recommendations?
A budget FreeSync?
Yeah.
You know, I really like the Nixius. I've been using that Nixius 1080p.
That's like a brand?
144 hertz, yeah.
I've never even heard of it.
Yeah, it's
and
it's not like
Taiwan.
They're based in the U.S. Not based in the U.S., but they are in the U.S.
Ooh.
So it's not like you have to contact Canadian or Asia or anything like that. So yeah, the Nixius 144 hertz FreeSync panel, I still use it in the shop, and it's a great panel. For a budget panel, don't expect the colors to be like amazing.
Yeah.
And expect there to be probably a little bit of color shift, obviously, as you get towards perspectives, because they're TN panels. But
I hear that's a big problem with the high refresh rate panels. Like the really expensive ones handle the color accuracy really good, but like the first generation ones and the cheaper ones, I heard that they have like color accuracy issues.
On which panels?
On the 144, the 120 and 144 hertz panels. Like the higher you go with the refresh rate, the lower.
So when they first came out, the only way you could really achieve that level of frame rate was to go with a TN panel, which really kind of sucked. But you're right, the high refresh rate did change the color accuracy or the color gambit.
Yeah, because I remember the early 120. Like I'd go into the store and I'd play with them.
Yeah.
You could tell it looked almost like the color temperature was screwed up, like out of the box.
It's true. And then if you went down to say 60, then it looked more normal.
Then it looked fine. Yeah. So you could tell
that was
there was
a
a
thing.
trade-off.
But since then we've obviously increased now and to the point where you can have IPS high refresh rate panels, right? X34 is 100.
Well, yeah, the one I used at PDX Line, it was 144 hertz IPS panel, and the thing was gorgeous. It was 1440p.
I believe, and someone in the comments tell me the model, because I know this exists. I believe there's 165 hertz IPS panel now.
I've seen it. It was the same one as the one I used, just the next generation up. I remember.
Because
you didn't believe me it was IPS when we were talking about it one time, and I went and looked it up, and it was IPS, 144 hertz, and then that's when we saw that, there's 165.
Yep.
Hertz one, and it's crazy because being an IPS, it looks gorgeous.
The only thing that's holding me back from 4K is the refresh rate.
For me, it's the size. I would in a heartbeat, even 60 hertz for 4K. I don't care. I don't need high refresh.
Give me a 50-inch 4K IPS 120 hertz. 100 hertz.
100 hertz. I'll even run 2 cables. I don't care.
You're gonna have to.
That's what I know. There's like no cable that'll carry that right now.
Yeah, but the 1080 actually supports 4K 120.
Oh,
because it has the display ports that can actually handle that. It's the newest display port.
Well, the bandwidth on 60 hertz at 4K with uncompressed 4x4x4 Chrome is 18 gigabytes per second. So you'd need a cable that could carry twice that, right?
Well, apparently the latest DisplayPort architecture, which is in the 1080 and 1070, support the linking of the two cables so that they can actually achieve 4K 120. They just need the panels now.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Because most of the gaming panels and stuff for the DisplayPorts only have one DisplayPort. That's
right, and it's hard to fathom. Well, I almost wonder if they could shotgun off of the HDMI port, because the HDMI 2.0 port can do 60 hertz. It can do 60 hertz also.
I don't know. don't
I'm
know.
curious. I want to see that. Yeah, because that's a problem. Because the only way you could use that is if you used the DisplayPort on both cards, right? If you had 2 cards and you did both.
Well, there's 3 DisplayPorts on 1080s and 980 Ti's and all that. But the 1080s actually has, I believe, an different port in there than say what's on your 980 Ti's.
Oh, that's right. Because it's 3 DisplayPorts, 1 HDMI, and 1 DVI.
Right, but
on the 980s.
And on the 1080s or on Pascal, they actually ditched the DVI-I. It's all dual link now.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, see, on my screens here, because the active...
No more analog connections, guys, on the new card.
I have to use DVI to drive, to keep my 4x4x4 color. I have to use passive DVI to HDMI converter to get HDMI 2.0 out to one of the screens. Yeah, because...
If only they would put DisplayPort on the damn TVs.
And that's the thing is, they did this, yeah, this right here, check this out. So I got this Club 3D. This is a really expensive, like $40 active adapter that takes DisplayPort 1.2 to HDMI 2.0. But the problem is, even though they say on Amazon it's a 4x4x4 color chroma, I've yet to be able to do it. I contacted the company and they said, yes, our adapter absolutely does it. We went through all the troubleshooting and they could not figure out. We even updated the firmware on this thing, which was a bitch. I had to plug it into the laptop and run some firmware updater thing on it. And I cannot get it to do 4x4x4. But there's a bunch of people on Amazon in the reviews that say they've successfully done it. So if you guys have used this and you've gotten 4x4x4 chroma at 60 hertz at 4K, please let me know.
Okay, so Lone Wolf in chat says, look up Crossover Fast 144.
Crossover Fast 144?
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Bet you a porn site pops up.
Oh, no, I'm just kidding.
No!
No, that's
just
forum.
a forum entry. Let's see what we got here. What's going on?
I think they want dinner.
They want dinner?
I think so.
Well, go get dinner then.
I need dinner. I need dinner too.
Oh, here, entertain the troops. Let me figure out what's going on.
Oh.
Let's make sure there's not an emergency or something.
I have full reign here.
Yeah, do it.
You almost knocked over your giant dildo over there.
Yeah, it happens.
Ugh. Okay, so what were we looking up here? Crossover Fast 44? New 27 Fast 44 DP HDMI. Is that a panel? That's what it kind of looks like there. So it's WQHD, 144 hertz. What is this? So it's 27. It's a panel.
They lost the kids.
They lost the kids?
They lost the kids.
What does that mean?
No, my wife got home and she didn't see your wife or the kids, so she thinks they went to the park. So she's going to check.
Oh, okay.
I think they just like wandered off.
My wife was like, "I'm free."
She's still like, yeah. We're gonna find the kids like outside, like in a ditch. So she's gonna be gone forever.
It's a panel. It looks like another Korean panel.
It's a 27-inch. Wait, that claims that it can do 4K at 144 hertz?
No, it's a WQHD.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know what
So
this
that's
is.
nothing special.
Is it a TV? It would be a 27-inch TV?
Yeah, it says 27 inch.
100% sRGB?
That's not right.
I've seen like 99% be the thing.
Yeah, anything that says it's 100% is a lie.
It's an IPS panel, right? AHVA. So 144 hertz IPS. Okay, I guess they...
Oh, and look, the DCR is a 5 little upside-down house with a square with a squiggly line under it. Sorry, I think it's in Chinese.
Look, they can't even write 21. I think it's in Korean. I think this is Korean.
Oh, stop being racist, Jay. Why always gotta be racist?
I like to race. What can I say?
You like to race? Actually, is that true if you're a race car driver or a race car enthusiast? Does that make you a racist?
Well, if a piano can be a pianist, a racer can be a racist.
That's right. Wesley Pownell said, 165 hertz is the
PG290Q.
But they're spendy, aren't they? Aren't they like up there like $800-900?
Every time Acer comes out with a new panel, they're like $1,300.
They're stupid money.
Yeah.
Stupid money. But the one that I used, it took me a week to get used to 60 hertz again after that.
That is an Acer, right? PG is Acer, I believe.
I think so. Let's go look.
It's either Acer or Asus. There's only two companies.
Jay, we have this thing here called the internet where we type shit in.
I don't know. You keep looking up Bing, so how much do you really know about the internet?
Don't say that. Don't let people know I do that.
I
only use Google.
He Bings everything.
I only use Google.
Oh, now you're at Google. Oh, you're going to Bing.com from Google browser. That's cool. That's really cool.
It's just a crowd.
Oh, it's an Asus. It's Asus. Everyone's already probably chatting.
It's the Asus.
It's Asus.
All right, let's see what we got here. How much is it? Yeah, so $800.
Actually, that's less than I thought it'd be. But look at the reviews.
Oh man, people are crapping all over this thing. Why? Let's see.
Because it's Asus.
Dems are not happy people.
You know what though? You look up any panel, it's hard to find any panel that has more than 3
Oh, they're
amps.
complaining about light bleed issues. I could see that.
The first Swifts had that too.
Yeah.
My Swifts had that.
Actually, even these 50-inch screens I use do have some light bleed issues. They only show up like during really bright scenes, but you can see
So one of the
spots
complaints
where the LEDs are.
One of the complaints people had about the Predator. The
Predator.
One of the issues they have with the Predator.
To catch a computer monitor.
MSNBC.
Have a seat, Jay.
I get it. So one of the things people complained about that was, especially on the top and bottom of the panel, was massive light bleed. Mine doesn't have any issues with pixels or light bleed or any of that. But asterisk here, mine was sent to me by NVIDIA, so it was probably already handpicked. To be honest, all the best ones are probably sent from Acer to NVIDIA. Because they're like, you're not going to send NVIDIA, right? Let's integrate the G-Sync, but let's give them a shitty panel, one that has all these QA problems out of the factory.
I remember back when I first started on YouTube, the battery manufacturers, like you'd get like 20 battery
Rad Power, built up our channel.
Yeah, Rad Power is actually like personally responsible for like making our career. But no, everybody send you battery packs, but it's funny, I'd open up the box and I'd pull it out, and like half the batteries would be out of the box. Like in shipping, they would literally fall out of the ripped boxes and just be laying in the peanuts.
Yeah.
And so like the first box I ever opened, it was supposed to have like 3 battery packs, and I pull out the first battery pack and I'm like, this box is all mashed to shit. And keep in mind the box it's in is pristine, so it went in that way.
Yeah.
And the other 2 were empty boxes, and I'm like, there's nothing in here. And then I dig around the packing peanuts, and they literally like didn't even tape the boxes shut. Like
at least you thought to look and didn't just make your video like they ripped me off. They didn't tell me what this is.
The best one ever was I got. Oh god, I'm trying to remember. It was another battery pack from a company. It wasn't the Vivis Night. I like the Vivis Night battery pack. It was one I never reviewed because it was so shitty. Literally, I get the thing, and the box doesn't even have a top. Like doesn't even have a top on it. It's just a brown box. Then some guy stuffed the battery and then put newspaper in there. And this is from a company. A company contacted me. They're like, "Will you review our battery pack?"
And this is why every morning I wake up, there's probably 10 or 15 like, "Hi reviewer, dear guy requesting cooperation. We want to send you for free."
We are honorable company. We are honorable.
Yes, we are honorable company that wants to send you free Bluetooth speaker and battery pack for review. The benefit is it's free, and it's like.
Oh, and then you go look at the specs, and it's like 4,000 ohms, 180 decibels.
I don't even look at the 4,000 ohms. It's like the contrast ratio on every panel.
It's just wood. The wire on it's just wood. Oh my god!
I have a canned message that I literally just like copy paste, respond to all of those. I no longer do Bluetooth. Or here's the thing, and it's a little bit of a jab, but it's basically a copy paste. It's like I no longer do reviews for Bluetooth speakers and or battery packs from non-reputable retailers. If they're always like, check out our Amazon store, it's like, do you actually have retail space you sell anywhere other than Amazon? Nope, sorry, I won't review your product.
And then Amazon recently changed the rules. Well, recently, probably like a year ago, they changed the rules saying that if you get a product for review, you have to state that in your review. You have to state in the review that you received the product. Like, because people were paying for reviews.
From Amazon.
Yeah, so now for you not to get banned off Amazon, if you get a product for review, you have to say that you received the product for review.
Yeah.
It's like the first line of your description. And now you click on any of those battery packs, and the first 400 reviews are like, the company sent me this, and I really liked it. The company, and some of them are really in-depth reviews. That's the other thing, is you can't really discount a review just because somebody got the product for free. That's kind of...
No, that's not even...
That's really naive, actually, because a lot of people put effort into
it. Then you'd have to just throw out every single PC product review right now from any of like the main 15
You have to like throw me out, because I think like 90% of the shit in this room was sent to me for a company to review. But
and the rest of it you printed and this is falling apart.
And I just printed and it's falling apart.
So...
good reputable companies, though, and you can vouch for this, never tell you that it has to be a positive review. They never do. I've yet to have a company actually come... Well, no, I've had them. I turn them down. But most companies are like, no, we want you to do it. They always say this. Please do an unbiased review.
When it comes to like PC products and stuff, but I've had plenty of these Amazon sellers come at me being like, constantly. Please do the review. And if it's favorable, we'll give you a bonus.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, there's a believable review.
If it's happy, honorable favor,
What I think is interesting is the amount of people that actually think that NVIDIA gives even an ounce of creative direction on the way that the reviews are done.
Jerry must be really hard of hearing. I actually am.
Why, because you're so loud?
No, because I had like a 4,000 watt stereo in my truck when I grew up. So I'm actually slightly deaf.
What? You wouldn't put that one by me.
Oh, were you talking?
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of people think that NVIDIA is like, oh, we want you to say this and this and this and this. And it's like, no, that's not the case. One, they don't pay a dime for reviews. Two, they've never been like, hey, you should say this, or hey, you should say that. They present like at these events, they do a private press day where as a group everyone's watching a presentation about all their products, and they send out like a 400-page guide, like how to review this product, right? What products or what to look into, and they go in depth about things you really just like. Here's the architecture map. Here's all the little diodes, and here's what all of it means. It's
like if EEV Vlog wanted to like review a GPU without even plugging it in, they could from the technical schematic.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's like, here's the product, do the review, and if you say something that they think is wrong, they'll come at you after the fact and be like, hey, we noticed you said this, but in reality it's blah, blah, blah. which they kind of did. They did when it came to the thermal throttling video I did.
Yep.
But they weren't too happy that I did a video about the thermal issues. So people call me out like, "Why are you defending NVIDIA?" I'm like, "I'm not defending them. In fact, they came at me and were like, why did you make this video?" I'm like, "Because the public needed to see this."
Yeah.
Which was really kind of funny. So it's kind of ironic that I got it from both sides. People like, look at Jay trying to defend thermal throttling, which I wasn't. And on the other side, NVIDIA's like, what's the point of this video? And I'm sitting here going, oh, great. Reviewer. I pissed off both sides here.
Yeah. No, my favorite company to work with so far. My favorite company to work with so far has been Puget Systems, and I'll tell you why. Because what other company has
write you a check every month?
Well, no, that too. No, but John, the CEO, literally, I told him. A lot of people are mad because I haven't reviewed the laptop yet. The laptop that they gave me.
You know what?
I haven't reviewed
things like that.
Yep.
I made mistakes, but in the past of reviewing something and not necessarily PC stuff,
like
but
cranking it out. Yeah.
Right, like a Adidas smartwatch that I had. Some guys will take this and spend 2 days with it and go, oh, okay, I'll do the review. It's great. Long-term testing needs to be done on things like laptops, batteries.
Same thing with the Osmo. I've been using the Osmo for like 3 weeks now because I want to collect lots of video, and actually I don't want to just take it out of the box and then find out later the software is unstable after you use it for 6 hours.
Exactly. So you go there and you're like, oh, it's great, but then it come to find out, right after you do the review, it broke.
But the cool thing about the laptop that I got from Puget is it's a Clevo build. It's from a Clevo chassis. So basically Puget buys the Clevo chassis and then they basically upgrade it and put the chips in it and everything and build the laptop from it. And so John, I told him, I want to review the laptop, but I was like, here's my list of cons that I have with it. Do you guys have any kind of, workarounds for these that you're working on? He literally came back to me and he said, he's like, I want you to be brutally honest in your review and tear this thing apart.
Hold on. People are saying there's an issue with audio. Did your mic shut off somehow?
It might have.
No, look, it's going.
No, we're good.
It's going right there.
If you guys can't hear audio, you might be broken somewhere. Wait,
they are ignoring us.
Hey, let me see. Clevo chassis. So basically Puget bought. Well, it's on YouTube's side, guys. We're broadcasting build laptop from it.
Yeah.
And so John, I told him, I want to review the laptop, but I was like, here's that I have with it. Do you guys have? This is weird.
You turned it down over there. Are you sure there's no sound? Unmute it here, and then you turned your
no, I turned the headphones down. Everything else is going, like the meter. Oh wait, why is the meter not working? Uh-oh.
But why would the meter not be going when your mic is going there? Because that meter is going to the computer.
No, you're right. This makes no sense.
Everyone's saying it's lag.
Oh, now they're saying audio is fine. Hold on. But I was like, let me refresh.
All right, a lot of people are saying it's fine.
Hold on.
It's one of those things where like you want to tell them. Okay, what someone Skyped you.
Hold on.
Unmute it here. Skyped you. What they say?
Oh, he said it's really out of sync, like 2 to 3 seconds. Unfortunately, there's not really anything I can do about that.
That would be YouTube.
Yeah, it's got to be YouTube processing the audio stream. We'll see if it's better afterwards. There's really nothing I can do about it on the stream, guys.
You guys have to understand. The stream goes up in a single stream, video and audio together.
Yep.
If it's out of sync somehow, it would be on YouTube's side. Because watch the mic meter when I clap. It's perfectly in sync.
Yeah, we're perfectly in sync on the stream going up, guys. I think it's on the encoding side. Try refreshing.
Remember that one stream we started? We're all...
Yep.
Audio sync. Yay. Yeah, it's in sync.
Oh my god, I look like Santa Claus right there for a second.
You look like Santa Claus every day.
But no, what I was saying is I thought it was cool that Puget Systems, like John, the owner of the company, was like, he's like, dude, just make the review, tear the damn thing apart if you don't like things about it. He's like, because when you do that, then we can send the video. But basically, maybe it'll get Clevo involved, and Clevo will fix the problem that I had. Because the problem I had wasn't specific with Puget; it was with Clevo.
Right.
And so he's like, no, these are good things. They're because their goal is to get everything perfect. And sometimes that means, you have to out some bad things. You have to make a big deal out of something before it gets fixed. And so I had mad respect for that because, not every company is like that. I thought that was pretty cool. Let's see, what was that? Why did I get... Oh, it's funny.
I'll do it.
Adam was like trying to call me during Tech Talk.
I'll do it.
Don't you kill me with my rubber band gun. That's my rubber band gun.
I don't give a shit. Oh,
sorry guys.
The
donations have been broke on my channel forever. We're doing Tech Talk on my channel today because Jay's up here and it was just easier for me to set it up. I'm talking to Google next week. I have an in-person meeting with them to go over this whole problem after 6 months. The only way to donate to me is directly through PayPal using my link that's in the video description of all video. Damn it, you loaded it.
I did load it. Ow! That was heavy. What are you about to pick up right there?
I was going to pick up the block of wood. Oh, you son of a bitch.
Oh, wrong one.
You missed me. Ow!
He deserves it. I ducked.
It puts the lotion on the skin, or else it gets the bad knife again. I hate you. It actually landed perfectly behind me. What time's it? Oh my god, it's already 7.
I know, it's time to go.
Dude, it's time to wrap this up. We did it. Did we satisfy you thoroughly?
No. Why would you ask them if they're satisfied?
Do all 2,000... If you are satisfied...
You know, I guarantee there's someone out there that's upset that we were both on the camera together.
Probably. If
I like it when you're separate because it jiggles through the soundboard.
We'll do that thing. If you're unsatisfied with our performance tonight, please push the like button. If you are completely satisfied with our performance, please push the like button.
Oh, I see what you did.
And make sure you come over to Twitter and leave us a comment. Even
heads you win, tails I win.
Oh,
no, wait. That was heads you win, tails you lose.
Heads I win, tails you lose.
Heads I win, tails you lose. Yep.
So, and a lot of people ask who won the computer, the giveaway.
Is that over
for
now?
Fractal Design. I think it ends either today or tomorrow. I'll have to check.
It usually, when it's involved with Fractal, usually it takes like a day for them to generate the winner.
Yep. So don't worry, the winner will be contacted by email once so you check your damn email, you guys. If you entered the contest. If you win...
The amount of people that just don't know it's an email notification from...
I know, and that's why we've made it really clear. Even in the video I did, I made it very, very clear. You got to check your email. So
it doesn't matter.
Once the winner has responded within 48 hours, they don't have to keep repicking. But once somebody claims the system after they won, then I will be tweeting it out, and I'll also be doing a video vlog where I talk about the winner and hopefully get a picture of him rocking his or her new system. It'll be awesome.
And tomorrow I got a video going out where 2 idiots build a PC.
Oh, and Adam said the audio's fine and it's perfectly in sync, so it's got to be something else. So I love how I have all these people that just they just Skype me like in the middle of things like, no, everything's fine. Everybody's watching
when I'm hosting too, if there's a problem, I have friends that'll Skype me immediately, and some will even just straight up call my phone or text you.
I think I closed the thing.
So tomorrow's video on my channel, because remember I actually got an entire week and a half in the queue.
I don't even know how to do that.
That's weird. You and I were talking last night, though, about why I don't like to do that.
Yeah, because it kills relevance. It makes it really hard to engage a video that you made like a week ago.
Yeah, just real quick before we get out of here. The thing I don't like about getting a ton of videos in the queue, one, I can always stay as current as possible, at least try to stay as current as possible. Because if let's say I put 2 weeks ahead and something comes up in the meantime, by the time I do a video about it, if it's 2 weeks ahead and I don't skip it or bring it up towards the top of the queue, two, let's say you guys watched Monday's video, which I did last week, right?
Yep.
You guys, the video goes live. It's new to you guys. You just watched it. It's fresh, and you guys are all talking about it. You're tweeting about it. You're commenting about it. And then I go to interact with those comments, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm like out of that mode. I'm out of that video. That video is old. I moved on to the next ones. I forgot about things I said in that video. I'm not as emotionally like attached to that video.
Yeah.
So when I do a video and it goes up the same day or the next day, that's the last thing I did. So I can engage a little more in the audience.
Yeah.
But there's a benefit to doing it this way. And we talked about this at dinner last night, where I don't feel as connected to the negative comments when it's old and past.
Yeah, because as soon as you post a video, you're like all
yeah,
over
I did a good job.
Yeah.
I like this video.
The first 12 hours, I'm sitting there on the shitter, just going refresh. The
audience is going to like this video. Yes. What do you mean you didn't like it? Oh, and then you start to feel a little bit down. You start to feel obviously a little bit salty, right?
Yeah.
So some of the more knee-jerk reactions to a video you just did, and you just spent 2 days of your time working on it, and you want people to enjoy the next 15 minutes, and they're shitting all over the last 2 days worth of work you did, you feel a little bit more butthurt about that.
It's true.
But when it's a week and a half old, I'm like, so I was reading the 1080 reviews, right? Because I just did the 1080 MSI video, went up yesterday, but that video was created a week ago.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm looking at it going, whatever, I don't care. I put the phone away last night. I read the comments for maybe 3 minutes and didn't respond to a single one. Because
that's interesting though. Like I've never gotten that far ahead, so I don't even know what that feels like.
It's weird because you find yourself a little less connected to the hate, and then I've already like tagged some comments to myself that I want to go back and answer when I'm actually able to respond.
Right.
To some of the positive stuff. So it's good and bad. Like you're a little bit less connected in the video, in that you can't necessarily remember the details of that video because you've moved on. But it's a little bit better for the emotional state because you literally are just like, I don't care that guy didn't like it. I'm past that now. You know what I mean?
No, that actually kind of makes sense. I might have to try that if I can ever get ahead. Because the problem is every time I create a video, I'm already like 4 days behind. So I'm like, I gotta post it. Dude, you broke my rubber band gun.
It's breaking.
Stop molesting my rubber band gun.
I thought this was supposed to be like 3D printing was all cool and shit.
Well, maybe I'll show you some really cool 3D printing shit.
You're going to have to reglue that.
And that Tesla video that you guys won't get to watch. I'll have to just show Jay in private.
Yeah, so I hope that makes sense to you guys, but... Yeah, anyway, the video going up tomorrow. Today's Thursday. Yeah, tomorrow. you guys love the idiot series that I do over on the vlog channel. We brought it. I've done one idiot video.
I mean, Nick's pretty good. I mean, you're an okay support.
Let's face it, Nick carries it.
He does.
Because he's the head idiot. No, I'm just kidding. So you got on the vlog channel, I've done 2 idiots install a steering wheel, 2 idiots install an exhaust. You know, mostly car stuff. I did one 2 idiots video on the tech channel, and everyone loved it. And in fact, that we're on to something, because the amount, I've never ever had a series that I've done on my channel in the last almost 4 years now. I've ever had anyone request more than, we want more 2 idiot videos. So on Friday, you guys are going to see 2 idiots build a PC. I was going to title it 2 idiots install a PC build, because the title being really stupid is
Hey, can we mix it up when I come down and have it be 3 idiots, or like 2 idiots and a dumber? Or something like
I don't see why not.
2 idiots and an asshole.
So if you guys like PC builds and you like the 2 Idiot series, those two are going to totally mesh together like this.
Yeah, go sub to his other channel, because he has 2 channels, because he's all fancy and shit.
No, it's on the tech channel.
Oh, this one will be on the tech channel.
Yeah, because it's computers.
but you also do the 2 Idiots series with the car stuff over on...
Yeah, we did.
Let's tell them about that one. Is there anybody... There's probably somebody here that doesn't know about that channel.
Well, yeah, it's technically cars and vlogs with JayzTwoCents. You can look it up that way. I literally took my vlog channel, which I already had at the time like 11,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
And I just kind of rebranded it as a vlog and cars channel, because I wanted a place to do my car stuff without just really bombarding the people on the tech channel that don't care about cars. That channel has like started to really grow. We did 2 idiots install a Plastidip, right? And so many people were like, this title doesn't even make sense grammatically. And it's like, it says 2 idiots in the title. Come on. That video for a channel that only has 32,000 subscribers has like 70,000 views. It's weird. That video continues to grow.
And that's one of the few videos I actually watched all the way through. I don't know what's so fucking fascinating about spraying like plastic on a wheel, but it just was. It was
okay,
like
so if you liked what you saw with that,
I did.
It's the same style, the same gooberishness.
Okay.
Building a PC on the tech channel happening Friday.
That'll be awesome.
Yeah.
That'll be awesome. All right, guys. Well, you better watch it. Jay and I are going to go stuff our face with delicious food somewhere. And, yeah. And then I'm going to try to shoot a video for you guys tonight that may or may not happen. Actually, I printed out... I had to actually print...
He's going to shoot it.
I had to print... Yeah, I'll probably shoot it.
Oh, yeah, this thing's breaking. I don't want to...
I had to actually, like, print out bullet points because as I kept shooting... Have you ever done that?
Bullet points? Did you print out
I had to print out
points?
bullet points! No, I literally... Have you ever started shooting a video and it's like you realize that you bit off more than you can chew? Like, you're like... Holy shit, there's a lot of stuff to remember. Like, you start out, you're like, oh, it's no big deal. You need some cables, you plug it in. You're like, oh, no, I had to do this. No, I had to do this. Oh, wait, I had to do this, too. And then you have to just, like, put your thoughts down and bullet
The 2 Idiots build a computer video is, like, 16 minutes long, I think. But it was an hour and 5 minutes of footage.
Oh, wow. You guys had to edit that down a lot.
Oh, yeah. I spent, like, 6 hours editing that.
Nice. All right, guys. We're going to go stuff our face. Be sure to like, favorite, and subscribe, and go over to Twitter and Instagram and 4chan and Reddit and whatever. It's fine.
Come to my channel because it's better.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
I'm going to check my email.
Oh, I got to push OK? I forgot to push
yeah, you
OK.
have to say OK. That's why half the time we go to end, I'm like, how do you do this? I forget.
Okay, I'm going to push OK now, guys.
Bye.
See